Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the court of the Edijester. How are we, good people? Another day, another dollar. Here we go again. Right, what we got here? First off, Our Duty Group, which you'll be familiar with, works with many parents. It's a very important group, one of the major groups that has been working for the last few years. And we have here an article from their website, ourduty.group. The link, as usual, is in the doobries. This is about the NIHR pathways, a misguided use of 10 million. Let's go. The National Institute for Health and Care Research, the NIHR, has announced a significant £10 million investment into a pathways, here we go, puberty suppression and transitional healthcare with adaptive youth services project. You know, even the fact that that's what it's called, even the fact that somebody sat down and made that up bothers me. Does it bother you? Oh, become a warrior teacher. I need more people. If you want me to, the only way I can keep doing all this is that the warrior teacher program, and buy me a coffee and my Substack, etc. So if you could help, please do. But don't forget to subscribe, put on notifications on YouTube here. That also is important. So this is about the puberty blocker trial. Can you tell? Here we go. Right, puberty suppression and transitional healthcare with adaptive youth services. Somebody sat down and worked that out. I can see it was round a table, wasn't it? Right, what we're going to call it? It was round a table. I can't. It just right. What we're going to? I don't know. Make it short and snappy. Pathways. Right. Okay. The study includes the following threads: the pathways engagement. This is the advice. The research team on gender MacGuffins. Right. Gender dubris. On how to study gender incongruence. The funding notification claims that young people with gender incongruence, really weird choice of words there, they're still using the same argot. This has to stop. That should say young people with bodily identity integrity disorder. That's what it should say, or something like it, right? It's just, they're using the same argot. Young people with gender incongruence and their parents have already influenced the research ideas, and now we will ask advisory groups to further guide the research team throughout the study. However, we must question the impartiality of this because our duty was not consulted, despite its leadership in understanding transgender ideation and in parent representation. So here we go. What we're saying here in this particular paragraph is they've already spoken to the parents that they know are going to tell them what they want to know. This is it. This is how it works, see? How many people that used to work at GIDS and all that nonsense, or used to work, not GIDS, used to work at the Tavistock, how many of them are involved? Pathways Horizon is the next thing that our duty pull up, which is this will include all young people attending a UK NHS gender service who want to take part, and their parents. All young people attending it who want to take part. Who want to take part. Isn't that anyone? That's anyone then. So this would include all young people attending a UK NHS gender service who want to take part. So anybody can take part. However, the study's reliance on participants from gender clinics excludes the perspectives of well-informed parents who are deliberately avoiding these services due to their lack of safeguarding. There you go. This is starting off on the wrong footing from the start, as our duty is pointing out here. Safeguarding. See, that's it. When is it going to happen? Right, so you're at school. My child comes out as trans at school. If I have one, God forbid, at school, that should be at the red flag the size of Nevada. Your teacher is trans. Oh, that's another red flag the size of Nevada. Your doctor is trans. How many red flags do we have to have? Trans and all this is a safeguarding issue. Full stop. Ugh. With the NHS conducting 1,000 mastectomies a year, sensible parents are doing their best to steer their children away from it. The study would benefit from engagement with our duty, which represents the voices of parents who have first-hand experience of the harm caused by such services. We're back into this arena of they only talk to the people they want to talk to. Where have we heard this before? They only consult with those who are going to give them the right answers. That's exactly what the government's doing all the time right now. It's a very peculiar behaviour from adults. Very peculiar. And then we have the pathways trial. This is the puberty blocker experiment, which shall, if granted ethical approval, run for 2 years. 2 years. Oh. We know that the regret usually takes between 8 and 12 years. That's always been about, right? The people that I know that did it themselves, which I only know a couple that's still alive that did it themselves, riddled with regret. But it takes about 8 to 12 years. What are we going to find out in 2 years? What about long-term damage? As if doing something as serious as blocking puberty when it's meant to happen. Not the same as giving them to kids when they're 5, where it prevents it from starting to happen when it shouldn't. We're going to give it to them to 10 or 12 when it should start to happen and didn't. This is the puberty blocking experiment, which shall, if granted ethical approval, run for 2 years, doing nothing for the advancement of knowledge and plenty to harm vulnerable adolescents. A genuine research approach would acknowledge our duty's concern regarding the impossibility of conducting an ethical trial in this context. There's a link there from Keith and the team that takes you to another article which talks about the ethical problems of running this trial, which has not yet been through the ethics committee. It is not possible to run this trial ethically. I heard it yesterday or today, I think it might have been. I heard somebody say something about, it's, they're going to do it for 2 years. They'll do brain scans, so the kids will be fine. Oh, God, get in the bin. Get in the bin. Medicalising children for no reason. Pathways Connect. This studies whether using puberty blockers affects young people's thinking, cognition, and brain development. It includes all the young people in the Pathways trial and some of those in the Pathways Horizon. Given the long-term cognitive and psychological effects of social and medical transition, unbiased interpretations of any finding is essential. It's insane. What are you going to do? Drug kids. What for? To shore up something called gender identity. What's gender identity? It's the insane belief that there's a God who slips wrong souls into flesh sacks. Right. So what are they going to do? Give them drugs. Then what? Scan their brain to see if we screwed it up. Really? Pathway Voices. This involves speaking to young people about their experience of living with gender incongruence. Again, you see, this is the difficulty here. If the child has been inculcated in a belief in gender ideology, if a child has been inculcated in the belief that they could be in the wrong body, if the child has been inculcated into the idea that gender is anything but a made-up cult, what's the point in having the conversation? And these are children, remember. The word no is very useful. Or you're an idiot. That's another one that's good as well. Or no, you're not going out. You're going to stay until you sort yourself out. Or how about no? Just plain no. Now, that'll work for some, it won't work for others, because others will be deeply, deeply unwell. Well, then they're not able to make any decisions, are they? In which case, if they're deeply unwell and they can't make any decisions, you wouldn't want to talk to them. And if they believe in a ridiculous belief system that's a cult, and you tell them that, well, that's what it is, and you show them why it's what it is, and they still refuse to believe you, then you slot them over to the other side, in which case you still don't want to talk to them. Stop it. Our duty, we believe these voices are detrimental to any advancement in understanding because the patients are driven not by healthcare need, but by harmful ideation. The inclusion of non-affirming parental insight would help shift the focus towards a broader understanding of the social context that contributes to transgender ideation. As our duty has repeatedly pointed out, any approach that fails to critically assess the fundamental assumptions underlying gender identity risks enforcing harmful ideologies rather than addressing the root cause of adolescent distress. And below, we examine the key elements of this project and the flawed premises it is built upon. Now, that's very interesting there. I'm going to leave it to you to go and have a look because Keith and the crew have taken time to produce and upload this document. It is well worth you reading in more detail to understand exactly what the issues are with this. This is going to be a thing. It already is online, but whether we can stop it or not is another matter. It hasn't got to the ethics committee yet. And the hope is that it will not be given ethical clearance, in which case the whole thing will end here in the UK. However, we then see that Helen Webberley has been given time on radio. Why? Now, some people will say, Operation Let Them Speak, let her speak. They've been speaking for years. We've been speaking for years. What's changed? Very little. We're about to go on. We're about to experiment on children. That's what we're about to do. We're about to experiment on children. And the government's about to write a curriculum which is going to include all this. And it's going to include everything else that comes under CSJ, everything else. And it's going to go across curriculum, not just PSHE and RIG. It's going to go across curriculum. Operation Let Them Speak. Dear God, I don't like to say it, but we need a Trump, don't we? We need a Trump. Anyone see one? Is Kevin Baddock a Trump? Is Nigel Farage a Trump? Richard Tice? Are they Trumps? Are they going to do what needs to be done and gut this revolting cult and remove it from every single level of our society? I doubt it, But then that's just me. You can tell me what you think in the comments, as usual. Come be a warrior teacher. Like, subscribe. Bloody cold. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Have a great day.